Hello everyone, it's me Uncle John. Today I am going to read Discovery Level 5 Homes Around the World. Introduction. The place where we live, sleep, and eat is called our home. There are lots of different types of home. Homes around the world are made of many different materials and can be many different shapes and sizes. Chapter 1 Homes in the Past. About 50,000 years ago, people lived in caves. Then, about 5,000 years ago, people started to build homes. People in the past didn't have homes like we have today. How were these homes different? Caves. Caves were dark and didn't have windows. They protected people from bad weather and wild animals. The doors were made from animal skins. There was no kitchen or bathroom. Cave people cooked their food on fires. In hot weather, they didn't live in homes at all. They lived and slept outside. In some places where there were no natural caves, people had to dig caves out of the hills. Straw and mud houses. The first houses were made from dry plants like straw. These houses weren't very strong. The ancient Egyptians built houses with bricks made of mud and straw. They put the mixture into molds and left them in the sun to dry. Then they built walls with the bricks and put wet mud on top. There were holes in the walls for windows and doors. Egyptian houses had flat roofs. People often slept on the roof because it was nice and cool. In the past, other people in Asia, Africa, and South and North America built mud houses too. Different colored mud made different colored bricks. Mud houses, Chile. Stone houses, Hwasong Fortress, South Korea. Some people in the past built houses from stone because it was strong. Poor people lived in small houses with only one room. Important rich people built stone castles to live in. These took many years to build. The ancient Greeks built houses with mud bricks on top of stone blocks. The roofs were usually made of tiles. The Incas lived in Peru. They built houses with stone bricks blocks. Each block was carefully cut and polished, so the houses looked great when they were finished. The houses had thatched roofs made of straw. Inca walls were strong because there were spaces between the blocks. When there was an earthquake, the blocks moved, but the walls didn't fall down. Wooden houses. The ancient Chinese people built wooden houses. They had long roofs made of a wood called bamboo. Many Chinese houses were built on platforms to protect the wood from water. The ancient Romans built houses with wood, mud, and stone. They also used some materials that we use today, like concrete. Some Roman houses had a bathroom, plumbing, and heating. Chapter 2 Homes Today. Some people today live in homes made of natural materials, like mud, stone, or wood. Many people live in homes made of man-made materials, like concrete, bricks, plastic, and glass. What's your home made of? Homes in the city. In big cities, many people live in apartments. These are homes on one floor of a bigger building. Some apartments are above shops or in old houses. Others are in tall buildings called skyscrapers. Apartments are often built on top of each other in one building because there isn't enough land for a lot of houses. Some houses in towns are built together in a row. These are called row houses or terraced houses. They are narrow so you can build many on one street. Other homes. Outside the city, there is more land for homes. People often have gardens or land to grow vegetables. Some people live in big houses detached from each other. Detached houses have space all around them. Other people live in houses called bungalows or ranch houses. These are detached houses with all the rooms on one floor. The old building below is called a cottage. It's made of bricks and has a thatched roof. People in many parts of the world build homes with thatched roofs. Mansions. Rich people sometimes live in big houses called mansions. They have electricity, running water, central heating, air conditioning, nice bathroom, expensive furniture, carpets, and sometimes even swimming pools. They often have big gardens too. The mansion below is in Thailand. It is made of wood called teak. A natural oil in the wood protects it from the weather and insects. Teak is very good for building houses and furniture. Shanty towns. Some people make homes out of things that other people throw away, like bits of metal, fabric, or wood. Places where there are lots of these homes together are called shanty towns. There is no electricity or running water. Homeless people. Many people today are homeless and do not have a home at all. Homeless people sometimes sleep on the street in big cities. In some places, there are shelters where they can stay, but sometimes the only thing they have is a cardboard box. Chapter 3, Different Climate. The climate is different in different parts of the world. People build different homes depending on the climate. What type of climate do you have in your country? Climate polar, temperate, tropical, desert, mountainous. Temperate climate. In temperate climates, the weather is usually mild. Homes are often built with bricks. Bricks keep water out and keep the homes dry. Homes often have large windows to let the sun in. And a chimney so people can light a fire when it's cold. Where it rains a lot, people build houses with sloping roofs so that all the water runs off and doesn't get into their houses. Cold climate. In cold mountainous climates, homes are often built with stone. If forest grows there, wood is also used. The lower walls of this chalet are built with stone because it is strong. This helps the chalet to stay up if there is an avalanche. The upper walls are built with wood because wood keeps the heat in. These homes have long sloping roofs so that heavy snow falls off. Some people, like the Inuit people in the Arctic, even build their winter homes with snow. These homes are called igloo. Snow walls keep the wind out and make it quite warm inside. Some large igloo. Some large igloos have 5 or 6 rooms and more than 20 people live in them.
Double check.
다 맞으면 보너스. Hot desert climate. In hot deserts, the temperature is very hot in the day and cold at night. People need homes that protect them from sun, heat, wind, and cold. Where there aren't many trees or rocks, people build houses with mud and grass. Houses have small windows to keep the sun out. This makes the house cool, but it's dark inside. So people spend most of the day outside or on the roof. Thick walls keep the house cool in the day and warm at night. They also protect the house from the strong desert winds. In some deserts, it's so hot that people make homes underground because it's cooler there. Tropical climate. In tropical climate, the weather is hot and wet. People need homes to protect them from sun, wind, and rain. Lots of forests grow here, and the people use the trees to make wooden houses. Mud bricks would break. There are often floods in tropical climates. So people build houses on stilts. The stilts keep the house cool and protected from snakes and water. Long roofs provide shade, and wooden shutters on the windows keep the sun out. Chapter 4, Homes that move. Most homes stay in one place, but some people travel and take their home with them. Can you think of any homes that can move? Ger, Mongolia, tent homes. Nomads look after animals and move their homes when the animals need fresh grass to eat. They live in tents that can be folded up and carried. Many people in Mongolia are nomads. They travel around with the animals and live in tents called ger. In summer, some Inuit people in the Arctic live in tents made from deer skins and whale bones. Some Native Americans lived in tents called teepees. These tents were made from animal skins. Homes that float, houseboats. Lots of people in the world live on houseboats. People sleep, cook, eat, and sometimes work on them. Some houseboats are used as floating shop, so you don't have to get to land to buy food. Some people live on canal boats. These boats are long and narrow, so that they can travel along narrow rivers or canals. About 200 years ago, these boats carried materials for big industries, but today the boats are used as home. The Uros people in Peru make floating houses from the plants that grow in the lake. First, they make a floating island for the house to stand on, and then they make a house all from plants. Floating houses, Peru. Homes with wheels. About 150 years ago in North America, some people lived in wagons. The wagons were pulled by oxen. People traveled around looking for new places to live. At night, they slept in the wagon or outside on mats. Today, some groups of people still live in wagons and travel around looking for work. The wagons are usually pulled by horses. Modern wagons are called travel trailers or caravans, and they are usually pulled by cars. Some people drive motorhomes or RVs. These are like a big car or van that you can live in. Many people like to drive in these on vacation because they can travel to lots of different places and see the countryside. You don't need to sleep outside caravans or RVs. The seats and tables change into beds at night. Vacation home. Many people like to go camping. They sleep in tents and cook their food outside on a fire. Some people have two homes, one home for the winter and one for the summer. They move between them. The home doesn't move, but the people do. Chapter 5, Famous Homes. There are lots of famous people in the world. Some of their homes are quite famous. Can you think of any famous homes in your country? The Forbidden City. The Forbidden City in Beijing in China is a big palace. There are palace gardens and nearly 1,000 buildings. It's the largest ancient palace in the world. It took 15 years to build, and it is surrounded by a high wall and a moat. For 500 years, it was the winter home of the emperors of China. In summer, they moved to the summer palace 12 kilometers away. Today, the Forbidden City is a museum. Some people say that the bricks in the wall around the palace were stuck together with rice and egg white. Homes for the Queen, the Buckingham Palace. The Queen of the United Kingdom has two homes. When she's in London, she lives in Buckingham Palace. Part of the palace is now an art gallery. You can also visit the gardens. The Queen's main home is Windsor Castle. It's one of the largest castles in the world. Many kings and queens are buried here. In November 1992, There was a big fire at the castle. It took 15 hours and a lot of water to put out the fire. The fire destroyed a big part of the castle, but most of it has been built again. There's a flagpole on top of each of the queen's homes. When the queen is at home, a flag flies. The White House. The White House is in the USA. It is home of the American president. The first White House was built in 1800, and 40 presidents have lived here so far. That's all the presidents except for the first president, George Washington. About 5,000 people visit the White House every day. The White House today has 6 floors, 132 rooms, 412 doors, 3 elevators, 147 windows, 28 fireplaces, 35 bathrooms, 1 tennis court, 1 bowling alley, 1 movie theater, 1 jogging track, 1 swimming pool. Topkapi Palace. Topkapi Palace is in Istanbul in Turkey. It was the home of the sultans. Up to 4,000 people lived in the palace. There were schools, shops, libraries, gardens, and other buildings, so the people who lived there never had to go out. Some parts of the palace were destroyed by fires and earthquakes, but you can visit the other part because there's a museum. About 800 people worked in the palace kitchens, and they cooked about 6,000 meals a day. Wow, it's amazing. The end. Part A.